And so I just gravitated towards it. The next book I want to talk, this one's tagged drinking what is called a Big Easy Pop. It's gut healthy pop. Got prebiotics, probiotics, and it's pineapple flavor. Not many things are fizzy and good for you, so let's give it a try. Not bad. Hello, and welcome to another video. My name is Heather, and as always, I'm reading with a vengeance, and I hope you are too. It's been a minute since I recorded, and you know what? I'm never going to say those words again on my video. I mean, what is the point? You guys know it's been a minute, but it has. I've been recording vlog style, my mid-year check-in, but I want to add some videos from around Savannah and kind of make it worthy of being called a vlog before I put it out there in the universe. And I know that's going to take a little bit more time. I've finished answering all the questions. It's just a matter of editing and polishing it up a little bit. So that's coming really soon, hopefully before it gets too far past the middle of the year. But I wanted to put something out there in the meantime, and something that would be easy to edit, fast to record. And so I just decided to defer to one of my favorite videos to record, and that is book releases coming in the next month that I'm really excited about. I'm talking about September. I skipped August, and I've skipped a month before because there weren't really a whole lot of books that I was super excited about. And let me see, I started a list for August and it just didn't really amount to much. House of Glass by Pekkanen. I can't remember her first name, but I'll pop up the book here. It's an author that a lot of people get excited about, but the more I thought about the synopsis, the more I realized it really wasn't something I was excited about. However, there were two authors that I absolutely love that came out with new books in August, and I thought that was enough to be excited about, but then I read the synopsis of one. Well, let me just share with you. So Jodie Pico came out with a book just this past week called By Any Other Name. I read the synopsis of that and it just didn't seem like it was going to be one that was for me. I love her as an author. I've loved most of her books. I love her writing, but this one just didn't seem like something I would be interested in. The other one that came out with a new book in August was Alf Shaak. And I actually had my hands on an ARC for There Are Rivers in the Sky, I think. I actually had the ARC in my hands and I read the synopsis. At first, I said, you know what? Who cares? The synopsis doesn't do much for me, but I'm going to give it a go. And I started reading it and I just knew it wasn't for me. Now, I'm still going to read some of her other stuff. I still consider her just an amazing author that I'll always be excited for her coming out with new stuff, but that one I knew it wasn't going to be for me. So I skipped August, but let's just get into the books that I am excited for September. There's not that many, but they are books that truly excite me. So the first one you might be a little bit surprised because it is in a genre that I have not gravitated towards in the past, but I've read a couple in the genre recently and I'm warming up to it. And the genre I'm talking about is romance. I have recently read an Abby Jimenez that I loved. I've read a couple of Emily Henry that I loved. And I think the genre as a whole, it's coming around for me. Anyways, the book that's coming out in September that is a romance, a contemporary romance, is If I Were You by Seska Major. Never heard of this author. I've never heard of any of her previous books, but I happened to find the ARC at work and it's got a cute cover, as you can see. This one has a little bit of a sci-fi / fantasy element to it that probably sparked my interest a little bit more than the romance element. This one follows Amy and Flynn, and they've been dating for 2 years, and they're in that point in their relationship where they're kind of fighting all of the time. They love each other, but they just can't seem to agree on anything. And it finally comes down to them having a huge fight on their way to Amy's sister's wedding, where Amy's supposed to be the maid of honor. They get in this huge fight in a thunderstorm, lightning strikes, and they fall to the ground, and when they get back up, they realize they've switched bodies. So they are forced to spend the whole weekend during this wedding with family and friends all around in each other's bodies. Of course, they're doing all the things you do on a wedding weekend. You've got a spa day, you've got a flash mob rehearsal, and they're all doing it in the other's body. So, of course, they also learn about old secrets about the other. And that's when the fact that they're in each other's body becomes the least of their problems. So this weekend is kind of make or break for them. I think it's going to be just a fun little adventure story. You know, it's that age-old problem that a lot of relationships have, and that is expecting to be a mind reader for the other person. And in this story, it just kind of takes that concept and blows it up. I think it'll be funny, I think it'll be emotional, and I think it'll be really relatable. Coming in at a very readable 384 pages, If I Were You comes out September 24th. Going in the entire other direction, we're going from romance to thriller, mystery / horror. And the next book I want to talk to you about is The Hitchcock Hotel by Stephanie Roble. Now, I have not read any of Stephanie Roble's stuff. I think her real popular one is called This Might Hurt, but the title of this one stuck out. I love Hitchcock movies. This one follows another Alfred Smedel. He's a huge Hitchcock fan. He owns this huge, beautiful Victorian mansion that he's turned into a hotel in the White Mountains, and it's filled with memorabilia. He offers his guests film screenings, and there's even an aviary with crows in it. And for the hotel's first anniversary from opening, Alfred decides to hold a reunion for his former best friends from film club in college and invites them all to the hotel. Of course, Alfred hasn't spoken to them in 16 years, not since the incident. And of course, no Hitchcock creation is complete without a body. Okay, so I know this is an age-old trope for mystery thrillers, but I think this is a unique twist to it. And, you know, who better than Alfred Hitchcock and Alfred Hitchcock movies to add that little twist to a contemporary mystery. I think it's going to be fun. And while this trope has been done and done and done and done, when you add something unique and familiar from our pop culture into the mix, it becomes more of a comfort trope. And I think this one will be a good read, especially for September, right before spooky season. Coming in at a perfect length of 352 pages, The Hitchcock Hotel comes out September 24th. This next one got my attention just because of the questions I think it'll make us ask ourselves. The book I'm talking about is Entitlement by Rumaan Alam. You will recognize his name. He is the author of Leave the World Behind. It's a book that I have not read yet. I did watch the movie, so I do know that he is a writer that makes you question things, and I really like that. I don't know why I haven't read that one yet, but Entitlement follows Brooke, and she is a woman who has a lot of wants out of life, but most of all, like many of us, what she wants the most is to have a purpose in life. But she also wants to please her mother, she wants family, she wants friends, she wants independence. It turns out that she is working as an assistant to a very elderly billionaire who has tasked her with helping him give away his vast fortune before he dies. In being so close to this much money, it causes Brooke to ask herself some questions. And I think this whole book is going to be about balancing the things that money can bring you versus the morality of it all. And I think that's going to be a very, very interesting conversation that this book will spark in a lot of people. So it definitely intrigued me. I think this will be a good first book for me by this author. And then maybe I'll finally read Leave the World Behind. This one's a little shorter. It's going to be easier to get through. It comes in at 288 pages, and Entitlement comes out September 17th. The next book I want to talk about is by an author I've been wanting to read for a very long time. I'm talking about Richard Powers, and I've wanted to read his Overstory for a very long time, and I don't know why I haven't gotten to it yet. I feel like it's going to be one of those books that will just stay with me forever. But I'm not here to talk about that book. I'm here to talk to you about the book that he is coming out with in September, and that is Playground. This one has tags of literary fiction, but also science fiction and the environment. So it's a little bit of climate fiction, which I am really loving. This one centers around an island, I want to say called Makatea. It's in French Polynesia, and its deposits of phosphorus once helped feed the world. But now this little island has been chosen as humanity's next adventure, and that is creating mini cities to send out into the ocean and exist autonomously. And how this story is told is through four main characters. We have Evie and Ina, who go to high school together, and they are worlds apart in their backgrounds, but they bond over a board game. We have Raffi, who is a bookworm, and then we have Todd, who is kind of an AI expert. And these four people, these four characters get together and meet on this island where the residents will decide if these little floating cities are going to be a go or not. I think there are going to be questions of climate change that are going to be addressed in this story, but I think it's just going to be one of those stories that has a really, really compelling plot and extremely deeply developed characters that are compelling and memorable. And those two things coming together just feels like it's going to be one of those books that I'm going to get lost in. I also feel that if I read this and then love it, then I'll probably read Overstory a lot sooner than I would have if I don't read and love this book. This one's a little chunkier, but I think with this kind of content, it kind of warrants a few more pages. Playground is 400 pages long, and it comes out September 24th. And last but certainly not least, I have one that is from a favorite author of mine. I'm talking about Liane Moriarty, and she is coming out with Here One Moment. This one's tagged as a mystery thriller, but I think it has a little bit of a magical realism element to it. Liane Moriarty in the past, for me, has written characters that are just unforgettable. I know I've told the story before. The very first Liane Moriarty book that I read was The Husband's Secret. It remains my favorite. Most, if not all of her books take place in Australia, and that just is an extra bonus for me. I still do not know why or what my fascination with the Land of Oz is, but it just is. Here One Moment tells the story of fate, really, and how we feel about it. And what would we do if we knew what our own fate is? The story opens up on a domestic flight. We have a bunch of different characters. We have a bride and a groom. We have a nervous, frazzled flight attendant. We have a celebrity. We have a guy who is a hunky superhero looking guy. But during this flight, I guess a conversation gets going with this woman who predicts how several of the passengers will die. And not only that, but when they will die. And they all kind of laugh it off as kind of a joke until a few months later, one of the passengers dies exactly how the lady said he or she would, exactly when she said this person would die. And then another passenger dies, just like she said that they would, and another. And then from there, I think we follow several different characters and how they start to really think about what this lady said about their lives and what their fate was going to be. What would you do to change it? Would you fight it? Would you live your life differently? I think this one is going to, again, make the reader ask themselves some really important questions, but at the same time, I think she's going to have a really good mystery going on, a page turner of a plot going on, and that combination is just going to make it your standard Liane Moriarty read. And I can't wait for it. I have an arc for it, so I'm really hoping to get to it soon so I can tell you what I think. And it is the chunkiest one of all. It is 512 pages. Here One Moment comes out September 10th, which is right around the corner. I need to start reading it right now. What the heck am I thinking? So that's it. Those are the books that are coming out in September that I am really excited about. What books are you guys excited about? I'd love to hear about it. Which of these books would you like to hear about first? Hopefully I was able to add some books to your TBR that you're excited for too. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.